Living together as a couple doesn't begin the day you move in. It begins much earlier, in those difficult conversations almost no one wants to have. This first principle is essential because talking about expectations, boundaries, money, routines, habits, and emotional needs before sharing a home prevents coexistence from becoming a pile of misunderstandings. For example, many couples move in without discussing who pays what, who organizes, who cooks, or what clean means to each person, and later end up arguing about things that could have been clarified from the start. Daring to talk about the uncomfortable is the foundation for building coexistence on something real, not assumptions. The second principle helps you understand that living together means accepting that each person brings their own rhythm, their own way of doing things, and their own habits. What seemed adorable or harmless from the outside can become a constant clash in daily life. A typical example is when one person is an early riser and the other is a night owl. One wants silence early in the morning, while the other wants to watch shows late at night. Living together reveals differences that weren't visible when each person lived in their own space. It's not about changing the other, but about learning to coordinate without losing your essence. The third principle has to do with the roles that appear without anyone choosing them. In coexistence, one person may end up carrying everything, another avoiding, another controlling, another always giving in. If these patterns aren't examined, the relationship begins to wear down. For example, many couples unconsciously repeat the roles they saw in their families. One assumes they must handle all the domestic tasks, and the other doesn't even notice. Talking about these roles and redistributing them honestly allows both partners to feel like part of the same team, rather than trapped in unfair dynamics. The fourth principle highlights the importance of respecting personal space. Loving someone doesn't mean being available all the time or sharing absolutely everything. Each person needs moments of silence, rest, and disconnection. A very common example is when one partner wants some alone time reading or simply being quiet, and the other interprets it as rejection. When the couple understands that personal space is not emotional distance, but self-care, the relationship breathes better and grows stronger. Living together should not erase individuality. The fifth principle focuses on the distribution of household tasks, not through improvisation or the I do more mindset, but through clear agreements that prevent silent resentment. For example, if one person always washes the dishes and the other never notices, sooner or later frustration will appear. Coexistence becomes lighter when both partners know what they're responsible for, when, and how. Daily organization supports emotional harmony far more than people imagine. The sixth principle invites you to accept that you won't always agree. You don't have to think the same, feel the same, or react the same. Living together doesn't seek uniformity, it seeks respect. A typical example is when one partner wants to resolve conflicts immediately and the other needs time to calm down. Understanding that differences are not threats, but a natural part of couple life, helps prevent disagreements from turning into unnecessary battles. The internal diversity of the relationship can also be a strength. And the seventh principle reminds you that living together as a couple requires keeping emotional communication alive. Not just talking when there are problems, but also when things are going well. Expressing gratitude, acknowledging, validating, showing affection. A simple example, saying, "Thank you for doing this," or "I love how you do that," changes the emotional climate of the home. Coexistence becomes kinder when both partners remember that it's not only about fixing what's wrong, but also nurturing what's right. And here it's worth asking yourself, how present are you in your relationship? And how much of the good that happens each day are you leaving unsaid?
Click the link and access the library of therapeutic books.